What's up? You may be one of the fastest growing cities in the United States right now. There's like 20 of them, all of them growing, building around you, and you're feeling left behind. Listen, grab the land grab course so you can start being in tune where properties are available, where tax deeds and tax liens are available in your city. Because listen, depending on where you are, Nashville, Memphis, Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, it doesn't matter. It's growing. If you're in Florida, you see the traffic, you see the people relocating, you see the folks getting out of New Jersey, moving down south. Don't miss out on the opportunities all around you in your hometown, in your city. Grab the land grab course, links below, find out more. You can watch the video for all the free information. It's your girl. Later.
What is up, everybody? This is your girl, Erica, back from Burning at the Beach. If you can, drop your city and state in the chat. There's so many things you guys have sent me that have been wonderful. But we're going to do this show today. The road to housing bill will raise prices. I don't care what they're telling y'all. It will raise prices. Number 2, don't judge. It could be you one day. And to that, I always say no. No, it won't. It won't be me. You have to listen to some of these stories these people give you about, don't be judging people. I'd be like, wait a minute, but we need some things we need to judge. All right. So that's what God gave us discernment. Okay. I am enjoying my birthday. I just had to come out here and prepare you guys for this week coming up. We have some really great stuff. I mean, put together a really good webinar. Basically, they're 2-hour webinars. With questions at the end, but they're only going to be in the school group. So sorry about you if you haven't joined Middleman to Million school group. We will be going over 20 to 25. We have to go back and check the slides. Training, certifications, you can get 2 to 3 days max. Turn around and make 6 figures in a year. Now, I've been holding this one back because I didn't know how to purposely do it well, but I think I'm going to do a pretty good job on it on the webinar. There's some of these trainings I've even attended. There's some people, I'm in a couple groups, and what they do is get government contracts, do loans, do all kind of things with these certifications. This is why I've been pushing so hard for certifications. If you're in your 40s, or you got to 40, or you got to 50, or you got to 60 years old, and you're like, Erica, I don't know the job market, baby, something's wrong. You need certifications. And so we'll go over 20 to 25 of them inside the Saturday training and Middleman Million school group there. And Digital Liberty Warrior school group, we will go over a long list of things. You'll start to see some posters on the wall, the community wall. And then, of course, in Land Grab, we'll be going over some more government contracts, government auctions, and where to find a lot of this land and how to do entitlements. We're going to go back over entitlements again. So if you're not in those groups, I'm so sorry to you. If you're not in Land Grab, I'm so sorry. That is where we will be going down this weekend. And good luck to you if you didn't see it. So we'll have the posters on the wall. Now, what's going on? What's the big fuss about the road to housing bill? Everybody's like, look, it's bipartisan. They're working together. And I'm telling you, anytime the government's like, we're here to help, you should be afraid. Now, I've been working with a couple people to put together a massive ebook about, listen, there's 5,000 mortgage programs out there, and there's 5,000 down payment assistance programs. We're not going to get all of them. We're just not. We're working on a team of 3 people to try to get this thing done. And so when we do get it done, we will put it out to the public, and we will have the links for you guys. But a lot of people, griping and complaining about prices of houses online and things. I'm talking about builders are throwing incentives, closing costs are being thrown in. Again, I told you last year in Texas, over 14,400 $1 million houses were sold. People have money. People are going on about their business. I don't know what y'all going to do, but I tell you, before that bill gets passed, you're going to see an increase in prices. Now, why are you also going to see an increase in prices this year? They're going to play up this oil and gas thing. And I'm telling you, as a person who's already like, let's move our money. Let's make sure we're available to talk to any oil and gas person. If you haven't heard the news about India, okay, India is partnering with America for the brand new refinery we're building. Where? In the great state of Texas. This is a $300 billion project. There's a lot for us to tackle today. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's get into the first thing here. This is the first. Well, it'd be good if I share my screen, right? And I'll share as many links as possible so you guys can see where I'm getting my sources from, where I'm getting my data. But we'll start here with this one. Your favorite boy, Robert Kiyosaki. Mr. Making Up Stories, Rich Dad, Poor Dad himself. All right, you guys ready? All right, President Trump announced America's first new oil refinery in 50 years. Brownsville, Texas has a $300 billion deal. Let me tell you how many men are going to be out there building, getting some of that construction money. Ooh, wee baby. Okay. Now that's before it's even done. That's just the construction money. Okay. Backed by India's Reliance Industries. Now you kept saying, why has Texas got all these Indian people up in there? Oh, it's the tech jobs. Baby, no. You knew what it was. Okay. Let's just keep it pushing. India's Reliance Industries, the same company that runs the largest oil refinery on the planet in Jannar, India. That headline everyone's reading. Here's what no one's talking about. 2 deals are happening at the same time. Most will only see one, okay? Most will only see one. Okay, you ready? Brownsville. You're like, yay, jobs, opportunity. This refinery is built specifically for American light shale oil from the Premier Basin. Okay, keywords there highlighted if you could. American light shale oil. 1.2 billion barrels processed over 20 years. 50 million gallons of refined products. It reduces America's dependence on foreign crude. Reliance signed a binding 20-year agreement to buy the output. My poor dad would say, great American job, great American jobs, American energy, good news. My poor dad would say, correct. Now, what does Reliance get out of this? That is always what you need to ask. Now, what are they getting out of this? Okay. A guaranteed 20-year customer, a foothold in U.S. energy market, and a front row seat to the most important energy shift happening on the earth right now. Y'all don't understand, baby. These Indian folk trying to get the foot. They trying to be the next China. They trying to get up in here, okay? And they are. And they're going to get in here one way or another, okay? So let's keep it moving. This brings us to deal number 2, Venezuela. While everyone was watching Iran, Trump quietly seized control of Venezuelan oil sector. 303 billion barrels of crude, okay? The largest proven oil reserves on the planet, roughly 1/5 of all global reserves. But here's the catch. Venezuelan oil is heavy. It's thick, high sulfur, what they call sour crude. This kind of oil requires extremely specialized refining equipment to process. Most American refineries aren't built for it, but Reliance Jamar refinery built exactly for this. What did I tell y'all? India didn't come to play. They making goop scoop, but they didn't come to play. Okay. It's one of the most sophisticated heavy crude processing facilities in the world. My rich dad taught me something about chess. He said, poor people watch one move, rich people try to analyze the whole board. And the way you do it is by asking what's one simple question. What's in it for them? You will almost never find the direct answer till later, but the rich actually try to analyze and make their best guess. So here's on the board right now. America took Venezuela's oil, but America cannot fully refine it yet. India, specifically Reliance, was already importing Venezuelan crude before United States sanctions shut it down. They know the oil. They have the equipment. They have the expertise. And now they just signed a 20-year partnership with America. This is not coincidence. China used to be Venezuela's biggest buyer of heavy crude, hundreds of thousands of barrels a day, billions in oil-backed loans. Okay, get to the money, y'all. Okay, the pipeline just cut off. India stepped in. Like India and China been beefing, y'all. Y'all don't know this, but they've been beefing. India stepped in, Reliance stepped in, and they did while simultaneously locking in a 20-year deal on the American side. This is not one country getting lucky. This is a calculated positioning move. Okay, now when I sat here and told you in Texas, they're harassing Abbott left and right, saying, why is he letting all these Indian folks in and the HB1 visas and all these schools and cricket centers? Like they're even building $150 million cricket place in North Carolina. They built one of the largest cricket places in Houston, Texas by Prairie View, the historically Black college. Why are they doing all these things? Okay. That's right. China's about quality. India is about quality. Okay. I just want that. If you don't hear nothing else I say today, listen to this one part. When I say India was like, India has CEOs on every single tech company in America right now. Their CEO is an Indian person. 50% of the hotels owned by Indian people in America. When I tell you people come to America because America is for sale, only people that don't know America for sale is the people who keep picking up these phones on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, social media, crying every day. When I start saying, well, you should switch careers, you could do this, you could do that, like the same way I'm telling y'all now, okay? The Saturday training will go over all these things that you can get 2 to 3 days. We had to call around 15 companies to get one test done. Every company was backed out 5 to 6 weeks. And I looked over and I said, well, you know what? How much does it take for me to get qualified to do this? He's like, oh, it's a 2-day training. I said, stop playing with me. He said, no, for real. It's a 2-day training. So I've collected a lot of really good stuff for y'all in that training this weekend. I hope you get to be a part of it. But if you're not, hey, you just gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out. Because it's certain certifications that they're out there. It's public, it's knowledge, but most people aren't paying attention. They ain't looking for it. They ain't thought about it. They just know, oh, it takes like 5 weeks to get that done. I said, why does it take 5 weeks? Everybody's backed up. I said, well, what's the definition? What do they need? 2-day training, baby. Anyway, let's keep it moving. I'm just going, that's segment 1. I just wanted to address the oil elephant in the room. Trust me, this summer, you're going to be mad about the price of gas. We already know. So, brace yourself on that. Okay. So let's get into the second one here. Okay. Let me get to the second one. I'm gonna go here first. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. College. Now we've been talking about college this, college that, Trump reducing certain things. Now, when Obama was in office, many of y'all don't remember this. Okay, many of y'all don't remember this. But there was a thing Obama wanted to do where you couldn't be charging all this money. These colleges couldn't charge all this money for degrees that really weren't going to pay a lot of money, right? So you paying $100,000 for certain degrees and it only pays $30K a year. That didn't make no sense. Now, when Obama introduced it, they were like, no, boo, Obama, boo, we don't want to hear it from Obama, even though it made sense. So now it's back on the table again under Trump, and y'all still don't like it, and you still won't like it. So let me go ahead and play this for y'all.
Where they cannot pay down that debt. But there are a number of long-term outcomes that students and families should be aware of. First, universities are going to lean into high salary fields, and we're talking about business, engineering, and technology. This means aligning with short-term labor market trends. This will also limit intellectual breadth. Student choice may also increasingly be led by state economic metrics, and this will not necessarily align with the student's curiosity nor aptitude. Higher education overall will be viewed less as a public good and a way to breed good citizenship and more of an ROI on investment. And there may be workforce shortages in fields that have low-paying jobs. This includes arts education, community services, nonprofit work, and some areas of teaching. Just because jobs are low-paying doesn't mean that society doesn't need people working in those jobs. Follow me for more news and for more tips. There will be no degree programs at public universities in the state of Indiana where graduates make less than those with just high school diplomas. The governor of Indiana, Mike Braun, has just signed into law a bill that effectively eliminates all college programs where graduates do not make more than $35,000 a year in Indiana, which is the average salary of a high school graduate. This is effectively Indiana's expansion of a new national earnings test that will be implemented this summer. Under this new national earnings test, students who apply for programs where graduates do not make as much as high school graduates lose access to federal financial aid. However, Indiana's move goes one step further. Students cannot apply for those programs because they will be eliminated. Advocates for this new earnings test, as well as for Indiana's new law, say that these moves will help protect students from taking on excessive student debt and pursuing low-paying careers where they cannot pay down that debt. But there are a number of long-term outcomes that students and families should be aware of. First, universities are going to lean into high salary fields, and we're talking about business and
boom, stop, pause right there, stop, pause, stop right there. Okay, do y'all understand what I just showed y'all? I hope you did. If you didn't, it's okay. National earning test was coming anyway. Indiana said, let's get ahead of the curve and let's get some of this publicity. Now, why does Indiana want some more publicity for their colleges? We just had Mendoza, University of Indiana, the Hoosiers, do what? Win that what is the championship? Lord Jesus, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the football one. Tell me, I'm having a brain fart. The football one just won that. Now, long the story short, why is this important? This is going national. Indiana's just trying to get ahead of the curve to get a little bit of news, to get a little traction, to get a little bump up for their colleges and the Google fact. They're going to be Googling all the Indiana colleges. Now, why is this important? I'm going to say this with a grain of salt. Can't prove it, but there's a part I can prove. Black students who are second generation college students do not get English degrees, do not get communication degrees. They only get STEM, and there's one other degree. They're very and when they do these surveys, they're trying to figure out, well, why do these Black students, second generation, come and get these type of degrees? Mostly get business or whatever. And it's because their parents already figured the ropes out, right? 80% of people who go to college for the first time don't finish and don't get a degree. All right. And so what's happening? We have all these people with student loan debt for stuff they should have never got student loans for. We're gonna go there. Okay. The government's already said, hey, if you're in high school, you can go get these intro credits for free while you're in high school. So really, they want you to look at college as this place. There's two types of people going to college now. Y'all don't want to hear this, but this is the truth. I'll say three, just for the sake of argument. The 1% of the 1%, which are college athletes. That's a whole business model in itself. And there's millions of dollars that are going to be made focusing on those student athletes. So we've talked about that in many other videos. We don't have to do that right now. The other two segments are people who come from families who are paying out of pocket. I see countless interviews on social media, white people saying, well, my parents couldn't pay, so I'm not going. I'm not getting in no debt. Right? And instead of acknowledging my parents are broke, I can't. That is a activity above me. Going to college was a luxury, right? Which as it should be viewed. People don't want to view it that way, but it should be viewed that way. Now, the second group of those people, that's still this first group. The first group are those people who parents pay out of pocket, and it is a finishing school purpose. They are there to network. They are there to marry. They are there to become software engineers. They're there to get some money. Okay. They're there to get some money. That second group are people that parents are going to pick. They're going to get loans. They're still going to go, but they have never looked at college as this, I'm enriching myself. I'm talking about the deep theories on life. They didn't go for that. They weren't trained to go for that. They weren't trained to look at it that way. Right. So they're there for the parties. They're there for the football. They're there for the stuff. They're going to try to eke out some type of degree and finish, but they're that batch that of course the colleges want. They're going to make money off them coming. But when they start only having the option for you to have a business degree, an engineering degree, and a few other items, a lot of these schools are going to become specialized. There are some historically Black colleges on the list. They only got 2 or 3 things, like their engineering and medical, right? Not Tulane. What is that one in not La Loya? There's one in New Orleans. It produces the most Black doctors, like the second school for most Black doctors. And it's going to be like that. You're going to be very niche, like, oh, I couldn't go to Grambling or I couldn't go here because they only offered this. It's going to be very niche. And the colleges that survive, Xavier, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Dickus. They'll be so niche. There's like 3 things you go there for, right? A lot of historically Black colleges started to produce teachers and medical personnel for the Black community. And that was it. You were a teacher. You were a medical person, that means nurse or doctor, or you had like not architect, but it is basically as close to an engineer, right? And so okay, you're in here talking about something that, okay, let me go ahead and get you out of here. I'm put you in timeout because you're talking about something that we're not talking about. Stay focused, okay? And so the point of this is pay attention. A lot of people who like la 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 kiki at college, and it's all for the party, it's all for the fraternity, it's all to pledge and have a good time in the fall. No, they about to be upset because they're not going to be able to get no loans. Right? That's right. You're not going there to play. You're going for business and you're going for engineering. And if you fail the engineering, you might be able to finish your degree with business. But your parents didn't send you there to play. And so these people who think I'm going to find myself and my kid can just go and I don't know what they're doing. No. And you're going to start going, like when I went to ECU the first year, it was all second and third generation people. It was Black people who came from Washington, D.C. and New York. And this was they were the second generation of people to be there. Like their parents sent them because it was cheaper to go there and be in the South and do this, specialized degree here than be up in Washington, D.C. or New York. We had whole families of New Yorkers. A family had 5 sons. They were on a farm. They bought a whole house in Greenville, North Carolina. And each son, as he came down, they didn't stay in the dorms. They stayed at the house and they rented other rooms out. They're not playing, y'all. And this is the type of people who should be sending their school to college, right? And one of their sons out of the 5 that they had, he went over, he's been in Dubai working in sales overseas, international sales, since we left college. He's never moved back. Do you know what I'm saying? He's never moved back. And so what you're having is there's a massive shift happening in the college dynamic and how it works and how things go down. But the average person is not paying attention. They don't realize this is happening in front of their face. Now, the average person will say, well, college is not for everybody. That's such a lazy argument. It's funny, but it's lazy. Now, there's another Asian lady who is on social media. I was going to find her to add to this conversation, where she picks her kids' degrees, and people are like, oh, Tiger Mom. And she's like, no, I know if you get this right, this first 4 years, you're just going to ride the next 6. The next 6, you're entry level at some type of software engineering. You're going to be good. 3rd year, you're going to make $100K. You're cool. You're just coasting. As long as you get that house, you put money in your retirement, you can quit and do something else in your mid-30s. And they're right. That's when you saw the FIRE movement. The majority of the people in the FIRE movement were people who had got high income careers, and by the time they were 32, they're like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm gonna go start an internet business. I'm gonna go see how fast I can retire. I'm gonna go pay off this stuff. My friend who had made $185,000 every year since she left college, working at Samsung. She was the highest paid woman at Samsung. I think her first year there, she made 125, but then she eventually got to 185. She had been working for 10 years for Samsung. Her 401k was that. She's like, I could go sit down. I don't have to do that. I can go have a baby and sit down for a year. I'm good. And now you're gonna say, well, there's not that many engineer women, Erica. There's more than you think. It's a dribble, it's a percentage, but it's more than you think, right? And so what happened is when she got an offer to go to a firm that paid her way less, but they were saying, hey, you can have maternity leave and be gone for 6 months and we'll hold your job. She went to that company. She had bought a house. She had made $400,000 off 2 different houses, selling those houses income wise. Like, she was good. So you're going to have these 2 tracks of people, and it's already been happening, right? You can go look at articles about yuppies, right? It's already happening. There already is 2 tracks in America, and it's really 5, but we'll just say for the sake of argument, it's 2. It's people that's kind of bumping their way along, like, oh, oops, I'm going to school, and okay, I'm gonna quit now because it's getting hard. I don't want to do this hard work. I don't want to read this much or study this much. Freshman year was fun to party, and now I'm gone. Now I'm gonna go back to my hometown and work at Walmart or something, and then blame college and say it's the reason because of college. No, you weren't even supposed to be there. You're not intentional. Your parents aren't intentional. No one's telling you. Again, the second part of the show is called Don't Judge. It could be you one day. No, it couldn't, because my family's intentional, right? So again, I'm gonna leave this here for now, and I'll probably come back with some more on this, but not at this moment. So let's go into the next part. Okay. Let's go here. Come on. Students graduating from Nova making $160K starting, and they're Black. Yeah, it happens. People don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to hear it. Okay, now I'm going to play this for the housing bill part. Let's go over to the housing bill part so y'all can hear this. This is twofold. This is going to be, again, Washington State decided to pass this bill where, if you're a millionaire, we're going to tax you. And I was like, oh no, that's the trick. That's the trick pony where they say, "Oh, we're only going to tax people making $1 million." Well, what does a person that makes $1 million gonna do? They're going to relocate. They're going to either move out of the state. They're going to move it to Oregon. They're going to move their paperwork, not themselves technically, but their paperwork to another state. Now, part of how I know that, when I go vacation in Idaho, Driggs, Idaho, it's a small town, it's not big, but they have all these 2-bedroom houses, and I say, why are they building these? Are these like rentals? Are these vacation homes? It's all these people who leave California and on paper live in this Driggs, Idaho. Okay, live in some of these little vacation areas near Yellowstone on paper. But in real life, what are they doing? They're going back and forth between Washington. They're going back and forth between California. They're going back and forth between Las Vegas. They have other stuff going on. They don't stay there all winter long. They don't at all. And that's all that's going to be. Now, when you are a middle class person, maybe let's say you're lucky. Let's say you own a business, you're doing great. You making $250K a year. Cool. Okay. Yeah, you're doing well, but you aren't doing well enough to leave that city. So when the tax doesn't work at first and they trickle it down to people who make less than $1 million, it's hitting you. This is why all this raise the taxes on the rich never works. Now, I'm doing a bunch of training to show y'all some different techniques, but I literally sat down with a business owner who they had a business making so much money. When they paid for their taxes one year, they said, go buy a tax office. He's like, for real? He's like, yeah, go buy an accounting firm. Bought the accounting firm. And he said it made more sense for him to, one, own the accounting firm that's bringing in income, and also it recorded all his other businesses. But we'll talk more deeply in that inside, we'll talk more deeply in that inside of land grab community. We'll do that on that training. We'll go deeper into that there. So let me play this for y'all so you can hear it.
Florida. This will happen more and more and more. Folks, at the end of the day, capital goes where it is treated best. And again, what is happening in the state of Washington? Folks, the middle class is effed. It just is. Look at the 5% wealth tax in California. Just the threat of that caused $1 trillion to flee. Now, in Washington, you are going to see hundreds of millions of dollars disappear. This is going to cause the politicians to go, oops, I'm sorry. I know I said it was going to be $1 million, but you know what? We got to lower it to 500,000. And then we're going to lower it to 250. And then we're going to lower it to 100 grand. And yes, this is coming. The only thing you can argue is when. How fast? My guess is a decade. My guess is in 10 years, the state of Washington will be forced to lower this threshold from 1 million to 100 grand. And yes, the middle class, not mobile, stuck in the rat race, you signed your death warrant. It is not going to be pretty. Not to be outdone, the federal government, I can't believe this stuff. The federal government looks set to pass the Road to Housing Act. What is inside this act that has bipartisan? Yes, Democrat and Republicans are all for this bill. What is it going to do? Folks, it's going to cause inflation. It's going to cause rents to go up, and it has the potential to raise home prices, which is exactly the opposite of the problem they are trying to fix. What does the bill say? It basically says build to rent is not a model we want to see, which is frankly very unfortunate. Build to rent is a very good model. These were not mom and dad's homes being taken off the market. These were purpose built. Think of them as horizontal apartments. Well, now you're not going to be able to build those, which removes supply. When supply goes down, prices go up. This is such a stupid idea. It is hard to fathom why anybody thinks this is a good idea. And once again, I'm reminded of Ronald Reagan. I believe Ronald Reagan uttered these words or words very similar to this. Hello, I am from the government and I am here to help. Reagan said that is the most dangerous sentence ever. Once again, politicians are proving with this state income tax in Washington and the Road to Housing Act that they frankly don't get it. They are going to hurt the people they are trying to help. Looks like we have a lot of activity in and around the coast of Iran.
Okay. Oh, pause. That's enough. That's enough. Now, why did I bring this up? Why did I show this to y'all? Again, this is what's literally, you have half of Google staff leaving Washington. Not half, but a huge significant point of them leaving Google. You saw Jeff Bezos. A lot of people left. Same thing with California. They just threatened something. A bunch of billionaires and millionaires left on paper. Now, what does that mean? They left on paper. Listen, you could ask Brandy over there at the tax office what that means. You can ask her on our free time, maybe book a call with her. But let me tell you something. What that means is they're going to be like those people I saw in Driggs, Idaho, over there with 2-bedroom houses that they don't be at all the time, right? When you saw the Yellowstone TV show, I don't know if y'all watched it. There's a segment of it where it jokes about all these people have come to Jackson Hole and all these places, okay, I'm coming out here to live. They really don't be there all the time. That's why the complaints about them are hilarious, because it's like they're pushing out the poor people. No, they're not. No, they're not. People are just choosing not to build low-income housing out there. They've never had the need so many people to serve and work for. Now they do. So now they have to figure out the low-income housing incentives. Now, you may say, well, Erica, I don't know how about this information you're pushing over here. Now, I'm going to show you this over here. This right here, you can go look this up on your own free will. I'm not holding your hand. This is called congress.gov. Did you know everything Congress does is public because we pay taxes? Well, Erica, that's just your opinion. Baby, this is congress.gov. This ain't my opinion. You can go read this. And I know y'all, like, I don't know, Erica. Road to Housing Act 2025. This isn't a made up. This isn't make believe. This is a whole bill. And you can see it. Now, like I told y'all, same thing with the trainings I'm doing this weekend. I will be doing an ebook. I'm partnering with a couple people who are trying to finish it up. It's hard to do. But when people say, oh, we can't afford housing because the prices, there's a lot of areas where the prices are low. There's over 5,000 mortgage programs. There's over 5,000 down payment assistance programs. There's several young people right here on YouTube who they get to the bank and they done got up to 5 million real estate. Bank's like, whoa, what are you doing? The young guy was like, well, I've been paying my bills for the last 3 years on time. He's like, yeah, but you're at 5 million now. You got to talk to some different people at the bank. We have to have a conversation with you. Y'all don't understand the average person could run it up to $1 million, 2 million, and most banks would not care. I ran $1 million through one bank. They were disrespectful to me. A bank across the street begged me for my business. They helped me do everything. My PPP, my EIDL. They were like, well, what can we do to get your business? We'll take your business. Okay. Please bring your business to the bank. This is going to have people, right? This is going to have people, not realizing all these builders that you complain about, all these people, spec construction people like me now, you want subdivisions? Oh, I'm gonna give it to you for sure. And if you're inside if you're inside the land grab community, you heard me speak on last month's training about affordable housing. We did a whole segment on affordable housing. If you're not in the land grab community, I'm sorry about you. You missed it. The video's in there for the class students who were there. We did a whole breakdown on affordable housing and credits and how this stuff works. Trust me, there's a lot of money going to be made here, okay? But again, major components, right? They got 13 sections to this, talking about housing supply. Now you're going to be like, Erica, they getting rid of all the Hispanic people. Yeah, but there are plenty of young people who can go do what? Plumbing, welding, electrician, all this stuff. They have new construction housing and rehabilitation grant programs to modify the Community Reinvestment Act. See, they already have these acts out here. There's money sitting out here, but most people aren't scooping it up. Again, they have Title 3 contains 4 sections concerning manufacturer and model housing, manufacturer homes, okay, adjust home loan insurance programs, authorize competitive grant programs for activities in support of manufactured homes. See, when I told y'all gonna be living in trailers, and people like, Erica, don't be talking about trailers. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, they're gonna be like, you go live over here in these trailers. You go out here. Yeah, you should move further out and live in this trailer, and your insurance will be lower, and it'll be great for you. Like get out of here. Get out of here asking for cheaper housing. They're doing this on purpose. I don't think y'all understand what's happening. Now, all these distressed homes, now what do I call distressed homes? If you saw me out here talking about Detroit and how they're resizing the city, they're destroying a lot of stuff to make it make sense. But also you have a ton of distressed housing. You could not pay me to take some of those houses. They need to pay people to take them houses because you're doing 100,000 in remodeling. Right? Even Beyond Wind in Cleveland, Ohio, they have some of those houses selling for 20, 30, 15K, right? That's all a person can get out of that house. And then you got to turn around and put another 50 to 70,000 in it. Now he's telling you to turn around and flip it, which is good because a person looking for a turnkey rental will make that money. But ultimately, that's what you're dealing with when you have these distressed houses. You got to dig out walls and roofs and windows, and like you might as well build a brand new house. Right? Right? You might as well tell that thing and build a new house. Okay. But let's keep it pushing. We'll talk more about this in land grab. All right. They're going to talk about this is important here. This little part is important. Section 5. Section 4 has 5 sections. 3 relate to home ownership, 2 federal rental assistance. Direct studies on barriers to small mortgage lending and change appraisal requirements. They're also going to expand the existing plan for tenants receiving rental assistance, modify inspection requirements. Let me just tell you what that means. You know, every time y'all complain every 2 minutes about the house needs more inspection, baby, they're going to have y'all living in shacks out here from Section 8. It's going to be looking terrible. They're going to modify. That means we're harassing these Section 8 owners too much. We're going to modify it. We're going to modify that. Every time the little Keisha and them be calling, oh girl, this house got a problem. I'm not paying my rent. They about to fix it for you. They about to fix it. Ain't nothing gonna be fixed. Okay. Now let's keep on to the next. Contains 6 sections which will authorize, reauthorize, and otherwise reform existing programs. These are important programs. These are Black people programs. Even though y'all don't want to hear that, that's the truth. The Community Development Block Grants for Disaster Recovery, the Home Investment Partnership Program, the Rural Housing Service, the Moving to Work Demonstration, and the Continuum of Care Program and Emergency Solutions Grants. When y'all ask, how's all these minorities and these immigrants getting all this stuff? These programs been existing. You're just not Googling to death, right? And then when they get their hands on these programs, they tell their whole community, right? When I told you I was in Austin and every Latino person was like, yo, did you buy a house? Hey man, you better go get that. You better go get that Bank of America down payment assistance, man. They giving it to everybody. This was a thing. This is the same way. In a little moat and talk about 50-50 and child support and kids and school stuff till you die. And that's what some Black people gonna do. They're gonna talk about child support and 50-50 to the day they die. I heard a group of men on YouTube. Y'all sent me this link. I was so mad y'all sent it to me. They were a bunch of 60-something-year-old men talking about child support. They ain't talking about building. They ain't talking about growth. They ain't talking about volunteering at these schools, helping these children. They ain't talking about developing the community. They talking about child support and 50-50 stuff at 60-something years old. Barbershop talk is what I call it on the internet. In their 60s, y'all. They about to die. Erica, don't say that. Don't you do that, Erica. I'm just telling you the truth. If you meet somebody older than you and they ain't talking about building and developing and growing and getting some of this money and getting land, you need to go on to the left. Hey, man, he real cool. He ain't cool enough for me to sit around and listen to that goofy shit. He ain't cool enough for that. That's a waste of your day and your life. I'm telling y'all, there are people who've come back to me who was over there talking about, Erica, you was right. I done wasted 2 years listening to that. I should have been over here getting a house and doing this and doing that. And I started laughing. They got their house though. Salute to him. He know what he doing. He know who he is. Okay. Let me just read. Yeah. Also, people who don't know real estate and how it moves. Ty Little, I'm telling you, they not paying attention. The only way to lower housing costs is to build more houses. Supply demand, price goes down. All other are politicians pandering you. Exactly. It's only projected to bring in 3 to 4 billion a year. That seems low for this kind of tax. Baby, whenever you hear a tax, don't worry, it will be amended in the future. It will be amended in the future. Cash is out here for developing housing. Ty Little, let me tell you something. I've been doing this so long now that 2 years ago, the way banks and hard money spoke to you, like kiss my butt, is how they spoke to you. Now, hey man, hey, what can I do for you? The way banks are talking to us now? Oh my God. That's why if you're in Inner Circle, we talk more about it coming up in this next week here. If you're in Inner Circle, we're going to talk about it. But also, if you're in Land Grab, we'll have a community. We'll have some conversations going on over there. It's stuff I ain't going to put on regular YouTube just because it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it to argue with folks no more. There were like 15 prefab factory built home buyers that got heavy funding in the last few years. That's definitely baby. There's stuff that happens 2 years in the past that you'll read it. And that's why I keep telling y'all, I left the books in the other room, but I have the magazines from therealdeal.com. I just started reading. Like they just have data, right? They had the top agents in the nation. They were all white except for one city, Chicago. Chicago had the top 3 black agents making all the money. Now, why did Chicago have the top 3 black agents? Chicago had a bunch of people talking NACA, down payment assistance programs, and things that spoke to what? Their community, to get them folks in them houses. But I'm telling y'all, when I said them trailers, like if you want to know about, if you can go Google this, Warren Buffett had gotten to a kind of dust kick up, because he owned one of those manufacturing companies that makes trailers. And the trailers went to the reservation. And guess what? They found they were full of lead, of all these chemicals. I said, man, them people on the res could build their own home. They could do Habitat for Humanity out there, but they don't, because it's all different types of lobbying. That's all. But I'm going to keep it moving. Let me keep moving. Manufactured homes are backing out more lenders who you were not there. I'm telling you. Yep. What's up from the Bay? Yeah, banks are reaching out, especially regional banks. Yeah. Keeping black people distracted. We will give our Social Security to a stranger for a 10K tax return, but won't believe DPA or grants. Man, let me tell you something. I'm telling you, the people online, if they're not talking to you in the next 2 years about some type of growth, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. I'm just telling you what's happening. You can take it or don't take it, okay? Now, also, another section of this talks about disclosures for VA guaranteed loans to conventional FHA insured loan applications, okay? Income eligibility to determine veterans homelessness assistance program. They got another word talking about congressional oversight and related to appraisals. Listen, all them lawsuits on them appraisals from black people, baby, trust me, them ears is ringing up here. They're going to adjust it so you can't be suing as much as you used to. Okay. Trust me. Watch what's going to happen next. The section of this title will require regular testimony from several federal housing officials, increase reporting requirements to Congress, establish a new inspector general, provide recourse for unsupported appraisal reports, addressing concerns regarding bias or discriminatory home appraisals. Now you're thinking, oh, Erica, this is so great. Us black people who keep getting these bad home appraisals and Latino people who get bad home appraisals, we're finally going to get our just due. Do not fall for the hype on this. What they're going to do is they're going to paperwork you to death. They're going to go, how can you prove this guy was discriminatory against you? They're going to have so many little checklists that y'all gonna stop suing these appraisal companies. Listen, these appraisal companies lost millions and millions of dollars. Trust me, they turned right around and went to a lobbyist and got this lobbied. Trust me, I'm just telling you. You think, oh, Erica, you can't verify that. I'm telling you, anything to be sued less, these people gonna do it. Anything to be sued less, these people gonna do it. Now, so instead of saying, well, it's not because he's black, but they're gonna say historically in this neighborhood, houses on this side of the street always were 20% less. You know what I'm saying? Historically, that's not racist. Like they're gonna do some shenanigans. They're gonna do some shenanigans. Okay. I'm just telling you, they're gonna do some shenanigans. And I'm trying to give you the heads up. Now, you may not believe me on that one. You can also check this out. This is the bipartisanpolicy.org. Okay, this is, again, Bipartisan Policy Center But when you type it in, bipartisanpolicy.org, you can go look this up. It's in their best benefit to talk to you about human capital, economics. Again, I could go into a rabbit hole with this, but we're going to stay focused. What's in the 21st Century Road to Housing Act? Again, y'all can go read this on your own free time. But you see they're reforming stuff, increase housing opportunities in opportunity zones. What does that sound like? Gentrification. Expand rental assistance demonstration program. We're gonna keep it moving. Increase housing and opportunity zones. Create a whole home repairs pilot program. Y'all gonna fix these old dilapidated houses that nobody wants. Nobody wants all these boomer houses that are shitty with gold in them and ain't been fixed since 1972. But they gonna make a program. Y'all gonna fix these houses because they're gonna be like, well, y'all can fix an old person's house. What you talking about? Raise the cap on bank public welfare investments to 20%. What does that sound like? We're going to have more people in welfare. Let's keep it moving. Incentivize communities receiving CDBG to increase housing supply. Amend CDBG eligible users reporting on regulatory barriers. Streamline environmental reviews for certain housing activities. They're going to have y'all living where former laundromats were. We had a whole conversation, I think, with Tim Jackson and a few other people where they had a laundromat in southeast Dallas, and they finally got rid of it, but it had contaminated the whole area, so they had to go in there and dig up the ground and the soil and put new soil down and do different things. But you think all those chemicals gone, and they're gonna slap some houses right on top of it? Okay, they're gonna slap some houses right on top of it, and then y'all gonna be like, why people sick over here? Okay. Normal folks don't realize how hard it is to prove discrimination was the reason for low appraisal. And then they'll get mad with you if you go get another appraiser. They'll get mad with you and say you have to pay out of pocket. And they might not even take that appraisal. Okay. Let's keep it moving. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up there for the housing conversation. And we'll be back on another day to talk about this, but I'm trying to get as many topics in for you guys today as possible because I've been going enjoying my birthday. But I just want y'all to understand they got some changes ready for y'all. I don't think y'all understand what's about to go down. Now I want to play this. I'm gonna play these two parts first. I'm gonna play this part first because our favorite community that you can't talk bad about on the internet or you will get deplatformed is at it again. Are y'all ready?
MOU with the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce to be classified as a minority business enterprise. This classification allows them to access set-asides for grants, contracts, low-cost loans. So the agreement recognizes the Jewish people as a minority business enterprise. Now, we understand that right now, the MBDA, the Minority Business Development Agency, is temporarily shut down and Congress is working to reactivate them. But what can you do? You can actually go register yourself for free at sam.gov. Even in today's economy, the government is still the largest buyer of services and goods. So register for a free profile, get yourself set up, and see what set-asides you qualify for instead of. So in January 2025, the MBDA signed the MOU with the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce to be classified as a minority business enterprise. This classification allows them to access set-asides for grants, contracts, low-cost loans. So the agreement recognizes the Jewish people as a minority business enterprise. Now, we understand that right now, the MBDA, the Minority Business Development Agency, is temporarily shut down and Congress is working to reactivate them. But what can you do? You can actually go register yourself for free at sam.gov. Even in today's economy, the government is still the largest buyer of services and goods. So register for a free profile, get yourself set up, and see what set-asides you qualify for instead of.
All right. Let me go here. This right here is called Minority Business Development Agency. United States Department of Commerce. Now, I'm going to say this. Now, we talk a lot about Pinky and what's her name? Pinky Cole for the slutty vegan and all these other people going bankrupt and stuff. And I'm just going to say this again. We hear a lot of people talk about government contracting. People don't always show their contracts that they get. I'm just telling you, as a person who had a personal trainer who went home every day and applied himself 45 minutes every day, reading, educating himself, putting himself to task, he was able to have a $1 million year. Okay. And that's possible for you too, because the government is giving away millions of dollars. Now, I don't want to be deplatformed, but you heard what they said in the beginning about you know who. They made sure that they get tapped into this as more and more media goes against them in different communities and the way they're doing things. They're going to get this money. Now, most of you gonna say, well, Erica, there's only so much time in the day. I have kids, I have a family, I have parents. Y'all gonna have to start figuring out how to pay some of y'all cousins to be Googling and submitting forms all day. Either that or a VA. You either gonna pay a VA $100 a week, right? And get them actively applying, compiling a list, reading data. You're gonna have to pay a procurement officer. Somebody, you're gonna have to put some money in the game and let them do this every day and show you the results at the end of the week. Every day for a year, if you have somebody just shooting shotguns to the wall, okay, for 365 days a year, applying for contracts, getting your company in there, there's not a way you'll lose at the end of this. Now, if you heard me at the beginning of this video, what did I say to y'all? At the beginning of this video, I told y'all, okay, if you came in late, you came in late. But I'm going to tell y'all again, I have a training this Saturday for a middleman to millions. I'm going over 20 to 25 certifications you can get in 2 to 3 days. Okay. Turn around and use these certifications to one. Either get a local job, regional job, get up to 6 figures a year, or you can apply it also to what? Government contracts. That's the training. And middleman, it's only going to be in school. If you're not in school and the middleman millions group in school, you ain't going to get it. It just is what it is. It's going to be over there. I'll have a poster. I'll put it all over the walls here, but the link is in the chat. But I'm telling you, all people are doing is, let me go run and get this little 2-day certification. And now on paper, they're qualified to pitch and grab all kind of things, right? Even Eric Coffey came on here and was talking to you about what? Roofing. You had a roofing company and you could have he made $5 million the first year because he got what? A government contract. Okay. And so I just want you to understand, okay, what's happening. So if you're not in the school group, you ain't going to see it, but it's this Saturday. We go over 20, 25 different things, but this is all that's happening. Now you're going to say, well, Eric, I just want to buy toilet tissue and sell it to the government. Think bigger. Okay. Think a little bit bigger, not much, but I'm telling you, I reached out to several blue collar trades this week to do a contract. It was 6 companies in one area. Every company was backed up 5 to 6 weeks. And I said, well, let me go look up this certification. What is this that they get qualified to do this and other people can't? I looked it up. It was a 2-day training, y'all. 2 days. That was it. They getting thousands of dollars. Okay. I'm just letting you know they're telling you how you can get the money. It's going to be the government over the next 2 years. Anytime there's a recession, the economy's a little shaky leg, it can be government. If you're in Digital Liberty Warriors, you're like, well, Erica, what about people that's not in the government? They're non blue collar. What can they do? E-commerce is still making money. We'll talk a little bit about coffee this week. We'll talk a little bit about 4 or 5 different programs I'm seeing that's making a lot of money on the e-com side, the digital real estate side. I put together 2 AI generated landing pages. I'm gonna show you how I did those and what they look like and why am I running ads to them. So each group is getting something really good this weekend. I just want to point that out. Okay. So that's that. Let me go to the next. And, we want to end always on something a little funny. I think that is what makes the show enjoyable for me and for other people as well. Let me go. I want to end on something funny, but I do want to show something else. But I'm going to end on something funny. Here we go. I like this girl. She's hilarious. She's out of South Carolina.
No, it could not. What do I look like being on baby daddy number 3 by 24 years old and twice divorced? Could not be me. Will not be me. Can't be me. Or what do you mean I could magically go $95,000 into debt because I decided to go buy a brand new truck off the lot that ain't worth two shits? Or what do you mean I could be possibly not knowing whose baby this is and there could be 4 potential baby daddies? That could not be me. I don't know 4 men that I want to be alone in a room with. What do you mean it could be me getting my children taken away because there's meth in their diapers? I'm white, but I'm not that white. Watch who you're talking to, because a lot of these things could not, would not, should not, and will not be me. If you're going to hit me with any juju saying, well, that could be you, make it the lottery or something, not 18 baby daddies. I love it when people say, don't judge, that could be you one day. No, it could not. No, it could not. What do I look like being on baby daddy number 3 by 24 years old and twice divorced? Could not be me. Will not be me. Can't be me. Or what do you mean I could magically go $95,000 into debt because I decided to go buy a brand new truck off the lot that ain't worth two shits? Or what do you mean I could be possibly not knowing whose baby this is and there could be 4?
Okay, listen. I like her channel because it's funny and she's saying common sense things in a way that, again, every time I come in there, like, Erica, you're so harsh. You're so harsh, Erica. I'm like, baby, I'll never be as harsh as half these white people I come across the internet. Talking pure filth to y'all. These things, when people say, hey, don't judge, that could be you one day. They mean like a stroke. They mean like cancer. They mean like a bad car accident. They mean diabetes took their foot, right? They mean something so extreme, okay? So extreme that's like, man, don't judge. That could be you. And even when I talk about like children on the spectrum, something happens like extreme disabled child, like that could happen. Man, don't judge. It could be you one day. I understand when the Bible folks say that, but they don't mean, Erica, I got robbed. I said, where? 3:00 in the morning. Oh my God, what were you doing out at 3:00 in the morning? I was on Hooker Street, across from Drug Street, and I don't know how I got robbed. Right? There was a Latino lady left her purse in her vehicle at the Houston rodeo and parked in a park they tell you don't park in. And then all the windows is busted. They're like, somebody stole my purse. Ma'am, you parked at the Houston, one of the biggest $1 million bringing rodeos. They already know in Texas we got pew pew pews. So they know, guess what? If it's a pickup truck, he probably got his pew 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 in there. So your husband left his pew pew pew. You gonna leave your purse. And y'all gonna park where they tell you not to park. And then be like, can you believe they busted out my windows? Baby, come on, man. Come on now. Come on, baby. You got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. Okay? You gonna call me and say, I can't believe, like there was a woman bragging. Her husband left his wife and 2 daughters and married her, and they've been together 17 years. I told her, ma'am, that's offensive and you should be shamed. 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later, 50 years later. Well, I didn't leave he left. Ma'am, no, you are terrible. This is why when people say it could be you one day. No, it couldn't. Because the Lord blessed me with common sense. You could fall down pregnant. No, you can't fall down pregnant. That's not how that works. They teach you about 12 years old how it actually works. And y'all telling me at 25, you still confused and befuddled? Erica, you so mean. Why you gotta be mean on your channel? You judging people. People are coming on the internet at 40 years old, no certifications, just high school, and be like, I don't make a lot of money. I don't understand why. What? 50% of people 55 to 65 years old, let me give you the accurate number, 48%, which is still 50%, don't have any money saved for retirement. It could be you one day, Erica. Again, if they had cancer, they had a heart attack, if they lost their mom and dad, something happened. Do you know what I'm saying? I hear you. It could happen. It's extreme. But 9 times out of 10, 15 people along the way told old boy, hey, you might want to get a job with pensions and benefits. You might want to get a job that gives you health care. You might want to go get certified. Listen, I'm talking to people in their 30s right now fighting me because I'm like, hey, man, you might want to go get this certification. I don't want to do that. You about to be 40 and with no skills. You complain about the no money these factories is paying you is because they don't have to pay you anything. There'll be another you coming along. Again, that's why when you see these people online hollering and crying, these white people carrying on about the cost of living. See, what it is they want a $600,000 house, but they don't make that kind of money to justify them even being over there. I can't be over here in the hood with these broke Negroes. Ma'am, you are a broke Negro. You're just white. What are you talking about? If every day you get up out of your house and you see broke Mexicans and broke Negroes, you're a poor white person. You're just delusional. This is why you're starting to see all this content on Instagram of all these people living in trailers showing you they got 3-5 acres. Good. You should have 3-5 acres if you just got a trailer. Why are you looking at me crazy? Yeah, you should have a trailer. Yeah, you got 3 acres. You gonna build a house? No, I ain't got money for that. Okay, well then put a trailer out there. Okay, that makes sense. They showing you they 4-wheelers. They showing you they cars. Yeah, that's where you should be. Yeah, you should be out there. Yeah, Well, I don't want to live out in the woods, Erica. Baby, you ain't got no money trying to live in Atlanta. USDA is your friend. Move your rump out to the line where you can get the no money down USDA houses and move in for pennies on the dollar and get on with it. Get on with it. Get on with it. Like, again, this whole don't be judging. It could be you one day. Baby, that was reserved for accidents, emergencies. We have a family member. He saved a man from the fire, but the fire burned his eyes. So yeah, it could be you one day. But was he at a liquor card gambling house playing cards and gambling with liquor and the house caught on fire? That's the part of the story they ain't telling you. So yes, could you lose your eyesight saving a man from a fire? You sure could. If you had a liquor gambling house in a place you ain't supposed to be, yeah, you could do that. You know, it could be you, Erica. Yeah, you could lose your grandma's house if you don't pay taxes for 5 years. Yeah, you could lose it. That does happen. It does. Bad stuff happen all the time. Now, the other day, let's just go to the other day. Last couple weeks ago, I was out there playing my nephew, and I was trying to show out, and I slid and hurt my knee. Now, if my knee would have went out there, they'd have been at the hospital like, now, ma'am, you're not 20. What you doing? Be like, don't judge. It could be you one day. No, I knew better. I hurt my knee trying to show out. It's small stuff that get you caught up, y'all. Okay? So again, should we have grace? Should we have compassion? Should we help people? Heck yeah. Every day we can get a chance to, yes. But people also gotta what? Help themselves. You can't be 40 and 47 going to the WIC office and you having another baby at 40. You can't do that. You can't afford the baby you got. What are you doing? We got to draw a line somewhere, okay? It's got to be drawn. All right. Y'all want us to hold Trump accountable every day when we get on this internet, but you won't hold your account to Lisa, who's on her 5th baby, asking for babysitting. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not holding the right people accountable. Okay, let's go there for a second. Okay, you're not holding. Now I'm gonna show you an example of people falling down pregnant, and I'm gonna get out of here. This is the last one. Let me just show you this lady.
To River Guide on the Salt River.
Let me just show you this last lady, and she white. She's not black. She's white. Let me just show you.
I'm pregnant during the most wild and free season of my life. I lived in a conversion van with my dog, Marley, and was chasing adventure anywhere and everywhere. I spent a few months living with my sister in LA. I worked part-time at a yoga studio. Then I made a last-minute decision to River Guide on the Salt River in Arizona. I fell in love here and spent 8 weeks having the time of my life. When that job ended, I traveled to Colorado to raft guide there for the summer. I remember feeling off and very lethargic. I took 2 pregnancy tests in my van and both were positive. I panicked. That summer felt like purgatory. Grieving the life I She was born via cesarean delivery, February 6th, and I never looked back. This existence as a mother felt more purposeful, aligned, and greater than any past experience I've ever felt. And it didn't mean that adventures stopped, they just looked different. So, if you find yourself grieving and sad about losing the lifestyle you had, I want you to know it's going to be okay. and that you're about to embark on the greatest life experience you could ever have.
Now, why did I share that, y'all? Why did I share that with y'all? These are grown adults. I'm traveling in a van. I've sold all my stuff. I have no money. I'm doing random jobs and I fell down pregnant. Living in a van. Now, what's the one thing we could do while we living in a van doing random jobs, summer tourism jobs? Probably use a condom. Erica, don't judge. It could be you. You could fall down pregnant while living in a van by taking random stuff. Y'all, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Knock it off. Come on. Right now, as much as I get grumpy about people, they work at the post office and they act like everything's good. Like, at least they got a plan. Let's just have a plan. You know what I'm saying? So look, that's the end of this show. I'm not going to drag it out. I have other great stuff y'all sent me. I will go over it. I will talk more about energy. I will talk more about Trump. And I'll read these last couple comments. I'm gonna get on out here, but I just want y'all to understand. Okay. It's getting crazy out here. For certification, wow, not a degree. Listen, I'm telling you right now, certification, 2 days. The service product I needed from that person cost $1,500. They're gonna come out and do it in like 30 minutes, and it's gonna cost me $1,500. And they're backed up 5 weeks. 5 weeks, y'all. Okay, so that's why I keep telling y'all I got these certifications lined up. I'm gonna help y'all get them. All right. I remember checking my retirement with the advisor. He says some folks in their 60s ask how they can start for the eve of their retirement. Listen, Dark Man Jeff, I'm gonna tell you, I get on the phone every day with people who are like, Eric, I'm 58. I need to start saving for retirement. I'm like, when you want to retire? 2 years from now. 2 years? We can come up with a plan now. We can come up with a plan. Might not be one you like. Again, I have another show called Hard Choices. Hard Choices, Easy Life. We'll do it here pretty soon. Yeah, because about 10 years USDA won't be an option no more. Baby. Right? Like when I kept telling y'all for years that the USDA farm people were giving $1 million at 1% interest just so y'all would start farms, and they begging y'all. They begging y'all, please. Are you young? Are you under 35? Are you a woman? Are you a brown person? We'll give you the money. Please. And y'all like, oh, farming. Who want to do that? Now look at what you see on your timeline. All these white ladies leaving middle class areas like we're on a farm. We're upper class. We're on a farm, baby. Okay. Y'all gonna figure it out. Not eggplants. What you be saying? Let it breathe. Let it breathe there. You know what I mean? Yes, it's M2. It's Middleman Millions in School Group. That'll be the one we'll do the 20 to 25 certifications that you can get in 2 to 3 days. Change your whole life. And we'll talk about the government contract aspect into it and all that other stuff. I have the slides already ready. Thank you for the mindset shit you giving me. Oh, look, you look so happy. I'm in school for electrical technology this semester. Expand my family locksmithing. But look how happy you look in your thumbnail. I love it. It's wonderful. Congrats, man. Listen, there's a lot of opportunity coming up. Y'all can get it this year. Everybody keeps saying that, it's economy's bad. There's no money. There's plenty of money out here. You just have to change your mindset. Your mindset's the most important part. Is the most important part. So anyways, guys, this is your girl, Erica Classicon blog. I'll see you guys Saturday, and you should see some of the posters on the community wall over the rest of the next couple of days for the training this weekend. See you guys soon.
Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.